tonight. Africa's market leader for card payments for small businesses, Yoko, says it is looking to cement its place as the top provider of card payment solutions to small businesses. Founded 10 years ago by 4 university friends, Yoko has grown to be a trusted card payments provider for small business, not only in South Africa, but the rest of the continent. So where to from here for the company? And for that, we are joined by the co-founder and the CEO, Katlego Maphai. Katlego, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. I imagine that the last 10 years have been tremendous for the company, seeing where it is today. Let's go back a little bit and talk about how you and 3 friends came up to establish Yoko for small businesses. How did that come about?
Thank you. First of all, great to be here, and afternoon to everyone tuning in. Yeah, so founded the company with 3 friends, Carl, Lumbisa, Bradley. We came from different walks of life, but definitely shared values. We saw an opportunity to do something with small business. Small business really are a critical part of the economy. We all know this, but when you get into the numbers, it really puts things into perspective, right? So there are about 100 million across the region. So this is Africa and the Middle East. On average, they contribute around 50% to GDP and are the majority of businesses and drive the majority of employment, and as such really critical for just economic stability and participation. But the challenge with small businesses, because they're small and fragmented and widely dispersed, the economics of getting to them in a manner that makes sense becomes a bit of a challenge, right? And that's why traditional institutions and banks have kind of left them a little bit behind, both from just getting them and being able to support them, because just the size just doesn't make any sense. So what we figured out was through digital, we could bring down the cost of acquiring these businesses and also the cost to serve them. And we very much had the cell phone model in our mind, right? That you can get a prepaid phone, SIM card, and a scratch card, and you could make phone calls. But with the card machine, you had to jump through all these hoops. And I guess our big insight was that these business models are actually identical. They just serve different purposes, but the way they work is very similar. And I think what we've done at Yoko is basically made getting a card machine as simple as getting a cell phone.
And that's absolutely true. And I like the fact that you went into some of the numbers as far as the role that small businesses play on the African continent in terms of not only just the economy, but job creation as well. How was the market for small businesses at the time? Because the process, I assume, was cumbersome if you were a small business trying to get transactions via the card payment system, whether it's Visa or MasterCard. How was the market at that time in 2013?
Yeah, I mean, back then, only 250,000 businesses out of 5 to 6 million were accepting card payments, so really low penetration. And when we scratched the surface to understand what was causing this low penetration, as you say, like lots of onerous things, right? So first of all, just calling, making an appointment, and trying to convince somebody to come see you, that was the first thing. And if you were a smaller business, you got deprioritized. If you weren't in a central, urban area and you're a little bit out, once again, you got deprioritized because salespeople would want to go to more convenient places. You had to sign a 24-month contract. You had to rent the machine. You couldn't buy it. And, the rental cost at the time was about 500 rands per month. So imagine just paying 500 rands per month before you even do a single transaction, or whether you do a transaction or not. It was just really rough. So these are just some of the things that we found. And in the end, what was fascinating was, you would assume that cost was the main barrier. But what we found was more the size of your business was the major barrier, right? If you didn't make economic sense for the bank or whoever, then they just wouldn't want to sign you up. And that really left a massive gap in the market that we wanted to solve for.
A gap that, Katlego, you have is closed quite well, and many people are proud of your work. And if you look at some of your achievements in 2021, in just one day, on Black Friday, normally a day that would see big business benefit, you processed over 100 million rands in transactions on Black Friday, and now you are, you have over 300,000 small businesses that are part of the Yoko ecosystem. Let's talk about your growth formula and where you want to take the company now. I believe that you are about to make some announcements in terms of the new innovation that you are making at the company.
Yes. Yeah, we're really proud of the network of business owners who've now joined our community. I think the most important KPI or metric in all of this is that 8 out of the 10 businesses that have signed up for Yoko are taking card payments for the first time. So this is something we actively measure as a business, and really where our focus is. We call this market making. We're not just here to be participants, but we're actually trying to create a new market of merchants and specifically small businesses. And the way we were able to achieve this was this principle we call self-service. So one of the reasons the traditional model doesn't make sense for small business is that, you need a salesperson and a big contact center, and it's very people heavy, and as such it makes it very expensive. And what we really pioneered was this idea that you could buy a machine online, we could ship it to you anywhere in the country, and that you could set yourself up, right? Nobody needed to come see you. And what that did was it allowed our distribution model to be both flexible and scalable. So, I keep saying we haven't met almost 99% of our customers in person, right? Yeah. Because most of them, got the machine online. And what that's done is that it's created that access, and then alongside that, retail's also become an important channel for us. So really, this idea that, if I want a card machine now, I don't have to call or wait. I can go to an Incredible Connection or a Massmart, and I can buy it and I can use it on the same day. These are just really some of the things that we brought into the space that didn't exist before. And if you go back to my cell phone analogy, you can see where that all came from, right? And as we think about the future, we have Pan-African goals, and we also think about the Middle East. We kind of see it, as a singular region for us that we want to attend to, and kind of as we move on in the years. You will start to see us beginning to open up new markets, but really all underpinned by heavy investments in infrastructure. So we go very deep on the payments and really want to deliver on a great experience. But beyond that, we also have the Yoko Capital, which is a merchant cash advance solution where people transacting on our platform can get access to their future revenues, and can get some additional cash flow into the business in a safe way. And then the software that we offer and the business tools. So we've really just brought this all together into a nice, neat solution. And I think what we're most proud of is that, we're getting business owners to take their first sort of card payments. We're getting business owners to move away from pen and paper into using an app. And we're getting business owners to, get access to working capital in some sort of a facility in a way that they haven't been able to do before. So there's just lots of firsts on our platform, and it's driven by kind of the deep focus we have on product development, on quality, and on building infrastructure that allows us to scale.
A 16% growth year on year since you started, and you say you've seen tremendous growth in the travel and the tourism sectors. Katlego Maphai is the CEO and co-founder at Yoko Payments Solutions. Thank you very much for your time, a company that we will indeed keep tabs on in the future as it looks to grow in areas, as Maphai has just said, in the Middle East and the rest of Africa region as well.